Thing that motivates us. It's all about contributing to our well-being, to our wellness in life. And my opinion is that if we live a life with purpose, we're already halfway there. Well, hello everyone and welcome. Now, got some exciting news and some things happening, but today I'm going to be talking about, or the title of the segment is, looking at my thing here, Great Ideas Need Some Work. Goes without saying, doesn't it? But how many of us want to have things that are get-rich-quick schemes, or we're attracted to something that somebody says in 2 easy steps, or 5 this, or 7 of that, or 1 of this, or in 30 days, or, you know, people put it to, and that's okay. I think all that's really, really good. But the bottom line is that you still got to do some work. You still got to do things. You know, I've done so many courses and I've done so many things over these last, all my life really, but certainly I've been hammering this over the last, couple of years or so. And I sort of feel that everybody says, you'll get loads out of this, you'll get this, this will happen, etc., 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 etc. And all of that's really, really fabulous and fantastic, and I agree. However, they all say, everybody says, you'll have to put the work in. And we all have a different interpretation of that. We all go, well, I've got, whatever, or whatever people think is work. Well, I want to talk today about that specific thing. I want to give you my take on it and my experience on it and my experience about life. That great ideas. And we'll talk about those too. What are great ideas? What constitutes a great idea? Everybody, it's a bit like, selling a house. Everybody thinks their house is worth more than, what it really is. Why is that? Because they just think it is. They're enrolled and engaged in it. They're totally in it. And for them, it's, it's ours is the best. It's got what this person doesn't have, and therefore, it's the best. And that's often simply not true, and it's not based on or knowledge or understanding of how houses are valued. So I think here we need to do a little bit, we'll do a little bit of background, we'll do a little bit of filling in of the gaps. So it's not just something that springs out of your head and says, oh, I've got this great idea. And it mightn't be. It might be bloody awful, and you just think it's a great idea. So we'll take a little look at that. But I want to just cover off first on, this is a series of about 3 or 4 videos. And, great ideas need some work. More great ideas for you, and there's an abundance of great ideas. And those sorts of things where I want to be able to give you some stories. I want to give you some ideas on some ideas that things people have done and things that are around and what's floating around out there at the moment. So hopefully I'm going to help you and fill you in on some of those as well, and some of the things that I've, been looking at, because I'm always an ideas person as well. I like, to explore and see, what sorts of ideas are out there and what's going on and what are people doing. And I've got a couple of those little snippets to share with you today. I've got a little product in front of me here that I'm going to talk about. And I've got this lovely letter and feedback from a lovely young man who's profoundly autistic and has epilepsy, and how what he's doing with his life. And why that? Because I sort of, can relate to the fact that, he's facing some uphill battles. He's facing some uphill challenges in what he wants to achieve and what he wants to do and what he's up against to do that. And, he's found a way to do that. And I think that relates to us, us people, those of us who are getting older. And I was having a conversation on a podcast this morning, and that's another thing I'll mention as well. But anyway, pull everything back in and just start talking about great ideas need some work. Okay, what's a great idea? Well, as I said, you might think that what you've just thought up or what you have in your mind is a great idea. And it may well be a great idea. But here's my experience in life, and I think I mentioned this one other time, and I might have mentioned it on a call. Can't really remember where I dropped, but recently I remember saying it. And it goes like this. Years ago, somebody said to me, if everybody loves what you're telling them, if everybody loves it, they think it's just fabulous, amazing, wonderful. Oh, it's just, I love it. Run in the opposite direction. Now, that might sound a little bit odd. Like, really? If everybody loves it, why would you, head off in the opposite direction? Because my experience is this, that if everybody loves it, they're not going to buy it. I promise you they're not going to buy it. I've done it. I've been there. People have told me how wonderful things are and how fabulous it is, etc., but that's not it. It normally doesn't work, and people don't buy. If you were immediately said to those people, okay, how many do you want? Or when would you like to book in, or whatever else, they'd start stuttering, have to check their diary. There'd be a whole lot of things. They wouldn't jump in as enthusiastically as they're saying they are, if that makes sense. And I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's, you're all super bright, intelligent people that tune into Wednesdays with Wallis. You have to be able to get a grip or a grasp on what, this old bird's talking about. So a great idea is, go back a bit. If you have a great idea and you want to market that, might be about a product and you want to market that product, or you have a great idea about, something else, and you're going to, at the end of the day, no matter what, you have to sell it to a number of people, not just one, not just two. This is not about keeping a sick canary in seed. This is about you making money. This is about you either bolstering your income, or if you've walked away from a job, you would like to not call on the funds that you might have behind you or your super. You might like to make enough money, to live on. So it's got to give you that. And will it give you that? Will this idea give you that? And how many people do you need to purchase that on an ongoing basis to sustain that? So I want you to think about those things in relation to the great idea. The great idea needs to be, first of all, sustainable. How many people do you need to purchase? How sustainable is it that you've got this great idea is? And how will that be ongoing? Now, Google it. Is somebody else doing it? Hopefully they are. And the reason I'm saying this, you're probably thinking, oh, no, I don't want anybody else to be doing it. I want this to be unique and different and only, me, that I'm this genius who thought it up. And, it's an out of the bag one-off thing. It's going to, it's going to make a $1 squillion. Well, fabulous. Great. If it sits there and that's it, you're a lucky SOB. You know what that means? You are dead lucky. And I mean it, because most times, there isn't anything new under the planet. There's nothing new on the planet. There's nothing new on planet Earth. You get it? There's nothing new. Everything is normally a rehash, a little tweak, something a little different, presented slightly in a different way than what what it was in its first iteration, if you know what I mean. And those people who know this and are very experienced at this also know that they'll probably think up 5 or 6 things and they'll put them in place to see how they land and what they're about, and probably they'll end up with maybe 1 or 2 that actually fly. Do you get that? Not everything works. Not everything works. And that isn't a failure. It's simply trying out the marketplace, trying out who you think might buy it, and that is about you finding, and people call it, you need to find your avatar, you need to find your tribe, you need to look for your group, you need all the fancy names. I like to just simply put it that you need people to purchase. Who are they and what is it that you have? Who does that appeal to? Who is that meant for? So, mobile phones, an example. Who are mobile phones meant for? Oh, no, you're going to say, everybody wants a mobile phone. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But mobile phones are meant for people to communicate and communicate easily. Now, if you're up for having something that you can use to communicate simply and easily to people, that you can have on you, that you are contactable at all times, that somebody can get hold of you when they need to and vice versa, then you want a mobile phone. You want to be mobile. You want to be able to have your communications mobile. So you are a sitter for purchasing a mobile phone. And then, of course, you'll get into what do you want, what type do you want, what type of mobile phone, la, 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 la. And that's where you get this whole thing in the marketplace. The mobile phone isn't new, but all of the things that the mobile phone provides and who to is their marketplace, is their market. Like if you look at the advertising at the moment, all of the mobile phone stuff is aimed at young people producing graphics, producing videos, producing communication, producing content. It's a big deal. So there's mobile phones that have picked up on that singular piece of the market. Now, there's a whole bunch of mobile phones out there. Brings me back to the point. If somebody else is out there doing what you want to do, that is fantastic. Why? Because it's proof that it's needed. It's proof that people want it. So it's proof of concept, we'll call it. So people want it, you've got it, and you can provide it. Now, that's a good idea. Okay? That's a good idea. That's my little dog. She barks at everything, every moving part. So that's a good idea. Now, to get to that point, you had to put in some work. You couldn't put your feet up and say, I've got a great idea, I'll just, manifest it into existence. Sorry, kids, doesn't happen like that. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what your thoughts are on areas of spirituality and all sorts of other things. The reality of life is that when you get who you're being, what is it that you're bringing? Are you, are you the conduit of making life easier for people in certain ways? Well, be that. Be always that. And in that, the doingness of that is the winner. Now, you get that? I'd like to talk about that a little bit more in, the more great ideas for you. And that is a great idea. I've worked on it. I've proven this myself. Now, before I go, I just want to say a couple of things, and I may mention them again in the next segment. But this is a young man. He's profoundly autistic. And he's got he's epileptic, and he's a gorgeous young man in the community that I live in, and he's got this business called Rags for Tradies. But he also loves dogs. He also loves animals. He loves animals. He's very attached to to animals. So he's also set up an area in this where he collects, towels and blankets and collects all sorts of things to be able to donate to shelters in those areas for, to help animals. And he's really got a passion for, helping them because he really, really loves them. But his Rags for Tradies is his business, young man. And what he does is he collects all of your, things that you throw out or donate or whatever, and then he takes care of those, cuts them all up into bite-sized pieces, so to speak, and then he bags them up, and then he sells them to the tradies and people who need rags in their business. He sells them to them for $5 a bag. Now, isn't that a great thing? A young man that decided he wanted to have something, and boy, oh boy, I can tell you now, he'd have some, things that, he'd have some setbacks and some challenges, that young man. Now, another really great thing I came across recently, and in fact, it was picked up at a health function, exhibition, and it's a thing called head skins, and we're going to do some of these for Bold Not Old. But what they are is this sleeve, so to speak, which you could wear as a scarf around your neck. You can wear, because it's a sleeve like this, you could wear it as a sleeve, I suppose. You could wear it as a band. You could wear it any way you want, but you can put it, I won't put it on because I'll muck up my hair, but you can put it on as a headband. You can put it on as a scarf. You can wear it as a wristband. You can do a whole lot of things with it. And it's a fantastic, fantastic idea. Now, somebody somewhere thought that up as a really good event giveaway or a gift or whatever, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be producing some of these for Bold Not Old, and then we're going to be, giving them away as an incentive and as a giveaway. And it comes in a great little thing, and on the back, it gives you all the ways that you can wear it and all that sort of thing. It can be put together for your own business with your logo on it or whatever else, something a little bit different. I've been given lots of things over time for like little show bags and things, but I thought this was fabulous and, it made a statement. I love it. Now, that's a good idea. Someone came up with that. Why? Because people are already wearing headbands. They're already wearing, scarves and neck things. the young ones are already, putting things around there. You can wear it as a head thing. You can put it on as as a pirate cap. You can use it as a neck scarf. You can use it as a face mask. You can use it as a wristband, blindfold, hair tie, scrunchie. On the back is a myriad of things you can use it for. Those things are all currently happening. But somebody said, let's produce this, cover off on all these things, and use it as a giveaway, and companies can, we can do their artwork, and we can. Now, that's a great idea, okay? So that's what I'm talking to you about. Now, are they the only ones producing those types of things? No, but they're doing it a bit differently, and they're doing it in ways that are different. And they're the ones doing it. They've packaged it. They're using it for events. They're using it for a whole lot of things. I think it's a great idea. I think the other young man who's doing the rags for tradies, only in the community that we live in, but that's enough for him. He's flat out. He's busy, and it's helping him raise awareness, one, for his types of disabilities and illnesses that are prevalent in our society, but he's amazing, and I love him because he's showing people that regardless of those things, you can still have a passion for life, and you can still be passionate about your life. That's what I want you to be. Now, throughout this, I haven't said hit the link below, or hit the buzzer, or hit the link and become a subscriber to Bold Not Old. We'd love to have you on board. We love having people join us. We're slowly building our numbers, but we sure as hell would like a whole lot more. So if you can help us out and subscribe, that would be absolutely fabulous. We'll have some more news soon. I've been doing some podcasts lately, which will be coming to air in the not too distant future, which are all about, having a passion for your life, getting up and getting on with your life and overcoming the obstacles. Look, can I swear? Shit happens, loves. And it just simply does. It's life. But we have to find a way and learn to get on with it. Get on with your life. Do amazing things. Do fabulous things. I'm going to talk more in the next episode about this thing, about more great ideas for you. And, and there's an abundance of ideas out there. There's sure as hell no shortage of them. See ya next week on Bold Not Old, and Wednesdays with Wallis. Thanks for listening. Love.